I got tired of pretending that my soul was doing fine. People only saw the smile, never saw the warning signs. I learned that broken people become experts at disguise, looking everybody in the face while slowly dying inside. I carry guilt for things that weren't even mine to hold. Let strangers write my value till my confidence turned cold. The louder that the crowd became, the quieter I grew. Funny how applause can make you feel invisible too. I remember staring out the window, asking heaven why, watching birds fly freely while my dreams forgot to fly. Every disappointment left another crack inside my chest, but somehow every shattered piece kept pointing toward what's next. People think surviving means you never hit the floor. Sometimes survival simply means you open one more door. One more breath, one more prayer, one more chance to stand. One more reason not to let depression have command. Maybe every mountain wasn't built to block my way. Maybe every valley taught me how to truly pray. Now I see that every wound I begged God to erase became the evidence of His amazing grace. The questions I couldn't answer, how do you keep believing when the answers never come? How do you keep singing when your heart forgets the song? How do you forgive the hands that taught your heart to bleed? How do you plant hope inside a field that's full of weeds? Those questions lived inside me longer than my fears. Every single answer seemed delayed by passing years. I almost walked away because I couldn't understand that God was building patience while I begged Him for His hand. Sometimes heaven whispers through the people that you miss. Sometimes mercy hides inside the pain you can't dismiss. Sometimes losing everything is how you finally see nothing in this broken world could ever rescue me. So I stopped asking God to make my storms disappear, started asking Him to make my courage stronger here. That's when chains started breaking without making any sound, because freedom first begins inside your heart before it's found. Oh, now I replay every chapter that I once called defeat. Every road that felt impossible somehow led to my feet. Every lonely conversation with the ceiling late at night prepared me for the moment I would finally see the light. If I never lost the people who decided not to stay, maybe I would've followed them and wandered from my way. If every prayer got answered exactly how I planned, maybe I would've never learned to trust God's better hands. It's amazing how perspective changes years from now. The prayers I thought were ignored became my breakthrough somehow. The tears I cursed eventually watered dreams I hold. The ashes I was buried in became my heart of gold. Now every scar is proof that pain doesn't always win. Sometimes endings are where miracles quietly begin. Sometimes God protects you by removing what you love, because He sees tomorrow from a place that's high above. No, I'm not standing here because life became easy. I'm standing here because quitting didn't get the final word. Every nightmare, every betrayal, every panic attack, every lonely drive home, every prayer that sounded like it hit the ceiling. Every night I questioned whether I was worth another sunrise. None of it defeated me, because every time I thought, I can't do this anymore, grace whispered, you won't have to do it alone. So if today you're barely surviving, listen carefully. Your story isn't ending. It's introducing the strongest version of yourself. The version pain couldn't destroy, the version fear couldn't silence, the version failure couldn't bury, the version God already saw long before you ever believed it. One day, people will call you strong. They'll never know how many nights you cried yourself to sleep. They'll never know how many times you almost gave up. They'll never know how many prayers you whispered that nobody else heard, but God heard every single one. Even the prayers you couldn't finish, even the tears you couldn't explain, even the silence that everyone else misunderstood. So if you're listening to this right now and you're wondering if anyone sees your pain, He does. He always has. He always will. He always will. Always will. 'Cause even when you couldn't feel His presence, always will. He never left your side. Always will. If you're still breathing after everything you survived, then your story isn't over. Was one battle God brought you through that changed your life forever. Someone reading your comment might find the hope they've been praying for. Yeah. These additional sections bring the song much closer to your preferred 7. Even the tears you couldn't explain, even the silence that everyone else misunderstood. So if you're listening to this right now and you're wondering if anyone sees your pain, he does, he always has, he always will. Because even when you couldn't feel his presence, he never left your side. If you're still breathing after everything you survived, then your story isn't over. It's one battle God brought you through that changed your life forever. Someone reading your comment might find the hope they've been praying for. Yeah. Yeah. These additional sections bring the song much closer to your preferred 7. These additional sections bring the song much closer to your preferred 7. These additional sections. I got tired of pretending that my soul was doing fine. People only saw the smile, never saw the warning signs. I learned that broken people become experts at disguise, looking everybody in the face while slowly dying inside. I carried guilt for things that weren't even mine to hold. The strangers wiped my value till my confidence turned cold. The louder the crowd became, the quieter I grew. Funny how applause can make you feel invisible too. I remember staring out the window asking heaven why, watching birds fly freely while my dreams forgot to fly. Every disappointment left another crack inside my chest, but somehow every shattered piece kept pointing toward what's next. People think surviving means you never hit the floor. Sometimes survival simply means you open one more door, one more breath, one more prayer, one more chance to stand, one more reason not to let depression have command. Maybe every mountain wasn't built to block my way. Maybe every valley taught me how to truly pray. Now I see that every wound I begged God to erase became the evidence of his amazing grace. I got tired of pretending that my soul was doing fine. People only saw the smile. Beating. Maybe he never left. I spent nights talking to ceilings like they could answer me. Silence echo louder than the people standing next to me. Every smile I wore was rented, never really mine. I learned to fake I'm okay, so nobody read the signs. Carry storms inside my chest that nobody could hear. Built a house for all my doubts and invited every fear. The mirror knew my secrets, but it never judged my face. It just reflected someone searching for a little grace. People only clap when you're climbing out the pit. Nobody sees the nights when you don't think you'll make it. I asked heaven for a whisper, all I heard was rain. Didn't know those drops were washing something off my pain. Maybe silence wasn't absence, maybe waiting wasn't lost. Maybe every broken chapter was another way to find the cross. God never left my side, even when I couldn't feel him. Through every unanswered prayer, he was holding every piece. I caught at the end, he caught at the beginning. I thought I walked alone, but his footprints carried me. God never left, I just couldn't see. There were mornings I hated hearing my own heartbeat, because surviving felt heavier than admitting defeat. I watched friends become strangers, promises disappear. Learn betrayal doesn't always come from people you fear. I blame myself for storms that I never even made. Thought every closed door meant that heaven looked away. Compare my broken timeline to everybody else's race, never knowing God was building me at a different pace. Depression whispered soft, you'll never be enough. Faith replied in silence, is stronger than the stuff. The loudest battles happen when nobody can see. Sometimes the strongest soldiers cry before they sleep. Every scar became a sentence, every tear became a seed. Maybe pain was never punishment, maybe it was everything I need. God never left my side, even when my faith was fading. Every valley that I crossed, he was already waiting. I thought darkness won, but morning still arrived. Looking back, I finally know God never left my side. Success can't fix a heart that forgot how to heal. Money can't replace the things that make a person feel. Followers don't fill the empty spaces in your soul. Applause fades fast when you're sitting there alone. I chased perfection until perfection broke me. Built my worth on opinions from people who don't know me. Spent years asking why instead of asking what. Didn't realize the answer was hidden in the struggle. Maybe your delays and your denial, maybe your breakdown becomes your survival. Maybe your tears are writing tomorrow's testimony. Maybe your loneliness is preparing something holy. If you're hearing this, maybe you're not here by accident. Maybe the day feels impossible. Maybe your heart is exhausted. Maybe you've been praying and all you've heard is silence. Don't mistake silence for abandonment. I'm done measuring God's love by what my eyes can see. Some blessings wear disguises called adversity. Every closed door taught me where I didn't belong. Every heartbreak gave another verse inside this song. I survived nights that promised I'd never see the dawn. Yet somehow every sunrise kept proving me wrong. Now every scar reminds me I made it. Every tear reminds me I grew. Every failure reminds me I'm human. Every breath reminds me God was there too. So if you're barely holding on, hold on one more day. The chapter you're living isn't the ending they're reading. One day you'll look back, not at how many times you fell, but at how many times grace picked you up before you even noticed. And you'll finally whisper, God never left my side. God never left my side. I sat in the back row, hoping nobody noticed me. Hands together, eyes closed, fighting thoughts that wouldn't leave. Everybody sang like they were standing in the light, while I was asking heaven if I'd ever win this fight. The preacher spoke of miracles, I wanted just one sign, a reason not to disappear inside this restless mind. I left before the service ended, tears behind my smile. Never knew God walked beside me every lonely mile. Maybe faith isn't never falling. Maybe faith is getting up again. Maybe grace is strongest in the moments when you feel you've reached your end. Yeah. You ever smile so people stop asking if you're okay, and cry the second everybody turns and walks away? That's the part nobody posts, nobody celebrates. The private conversations where your soul negotiates. Anxiety became a roommate that refused to move. Fear kept bringing evidence I had something left to prove. But peace doesn't arrive because the storm is finally gone. Sometimes peace is standing there while everything goes wrong. I thought courage meant I'd never shake. Now I know courage means I move anyway. One more heartbeat, one more prayer, one more reason not to stay afraid. The long night, not to stay afraid. Long, yeah. The longest nights are never measured by the clock. They're measured by the thoughts that never seem to stop. I memorize the cracks running across my ceiling, trying to convince myself tomorrow held some healing. I almost believed every lie my fear rehearsed, that I'd always finish last because I started cursed. Then I realized darkness only looks forever when you're standing in the middle of the weather. Morning never asked if I deserved another chance, it simply showed up anyway. Maybe that's what mercy looks like. Pain couldn't take. Pain took sleep, pain took confidence. Pain took people I thought would stay forever. Pain took dreams I spent years building, but it couldn't take the purpose growing underneath the pressure. It couldn't erase the promise, it couldn't silence the calling, it couldn't convince God to stop writing my story. blamed every closed door. Then one day I looked back and realized every closed door kept me from walking into rooms that would have broken me even more. Grace wasn't always opening new paths. Sometimes grace was simply saying no and protecting me from things I begged to have. I stood before the mirror looking for somebody worth believing in. All I found was a stranger carrying years of disappointment. Then I remembered God never called me by my failures. People introduced me to my mistakes. God introduced me to my future. That's the difference between shame and grace. I've got scars, but scars don't scare me anymore, because every scar reminds me something tried to destroy me and failed. Every chapter I wanted to erase has become the chapter someone else needs to read. Maybe my survival was never only for me. Maybe somebody else's breakthrough starts with hearing mine. There was a prayer I never finished, not because I stopped believing, but because the tears spoke louder than the words I thought heaven needed. Complete sentences. Turns out God understood every silence I couldn't explain, every trembling breath, every shaking hand, every broken whisper reached Him before it ever reached my lips. Looking back from tomorrow, if tomorrow could write a letter to the day, it would say, don't quit the heartbreak you're surviving. We'll become someone else's hope. The tears you're hiding will become your testimony. The mountain you're climbing will one day become the view that reminds you why you never gave up. He never moved. I kept asking, yeah, where are you? Years later, I realized He never moved. I was the one trying to outrun my own healing. Every time I turned around, His mercy was already waiting. His love was already reaching. His grace was already enough. Some people will hear this as just another song. Others will hear their own life. Which line felt like it was written about you? And why? Turns out it was the place where heaven opened up my eyes. When I lost everything I thought I couldn't live without, I finally heard God's whisper, louder than my doubt. I was chasing empty victories, collecting hollow praise, building castles made of sand that disappeared in waves. Success without His peace just felt like another prison. A crowded room can still be the loneliest place you live in. The world kept saying run faster, but my soul needed rest. Everybody saw the trophies, nobody saw the stress. Now I'd rather lose the world than lose who I became, 'cause healing gave me purpose money never gave. There was a voice inside my head that never wanted peace. It memorized my failures and repeated them to me. It said, you're too broken, you're too far gone to change. Like my future had already been buried in my shame. But then another voice spoke, softer than the fear. You survived every battle that brought you to this year. It didn't promise easy, it didn't promise fast. It only promised I was stronger than my past. So every time the darkness started knocking at my door, I answered with the faith I never knew I had before. 'Cause courage isn't loud when your whole world falls apart. Sometimes courage is a whisper that refuses to depart. Letters I never sent. I wrote letters that nobody will ever have read. Words I couldn't say because my heart was still bleeding. Some are filled with anger, some are filled with regret. Some were apologies I still haven't spoken yet. I forgave people who never admitted they were wrong. Not because they earned it, because I needed to move on. Holding on to bitterness became another chain. Freedom finally started when I released the pain. Now I don't pray for revenge, I pray for peace instead. Because hate builds prisons, love rebuilds what's dead. Love rebuilds what's dead. She prayed for me before I ever understood why. Before I knew the weight hidden behind her eyes. She saw the storms I'd one day have to face alone. So she planted faith inside her heart, still growing. every time I almost let my hope collapse. I remember all those nights, she never looked back. Some prayers take years before they bloom into the light. Maybe I'm still standing because she prayed every night. Maybe somebody's praying for you right now, while you busy believing nobody cares. Maybe a miracle started long before you noticed it. When the world went quiet, the phone stopped ringing, friends stopped checking in, the room felt bigger because loneliness moved in. I thought isolation meant I've been forgotten, but silence became the classroom where God finally had my full attention. No distractions, no applause, no pretending, just me learning who I really was when nobody was watching. Not the end. If today feels heavier than yesterday, keep walking. If your prayers feel unanswered, keep praying. If your tears keep falling, keep believing, because seeds always disappear underground. Before anyone sees the harvest, maybe your breakthrough looks exactly like the season before it blooms. The people who counted me out only measure what they could see. They never saw the late nights, the broken prayers, the silent victory, the moments I chose healing instead of hatred. Now they call it luck, I call it grace, because the comeback wasn't built on talent, it was built on refusing to quit when nobody wanna blame me if I did. He stayed when I pushed everyone away. When I questioned every promise, he stayed. When I doubted every prayer, he stayed. When I stopped believing in myself, he stayed. Not because I earned it, not because I deserved it, but because his love was never dependent on my perfection. Maybe this song found you on the exact day you needed it. Not because life suddenly became easier, but because hope needed a voice. If you've made it this far, you're proof that pain doesn't always write the final chapter. Sometimes it only writes the introductions. It only writes the introductions. The introductions.